So one of the more popular questions that people have, and it makes sense because we live in a world where there's just so many things that we can choose from to place ourselves into on a day-to-day basis to try to make some type of living or earning.
Yeah.
And we've touched on this previously somewhat when the show when we talked about either are you a servant or are you right a boss,
Yeah.
right? That has a lot to do with career. And not everybody typically would say per se has a career, right? We all have work to do. We all have something that we right do on a daily basis, whether it's even as being right a vagabond or right homeless, right? You're doing
Yeah.
something, right? And those things are predicted
Yeah.
in the chart. We look at the 12th house as a house of wandering, right? So many times when you have a plethora of planets, not all the time, but many times when you have a plethora of planets in the 12th house, this can indicate a person that is very unstable in life and can, move from place to place. But, right, what we're talking about today is the ability to really hone in and harness, right, and know what your profession is. Now, let's say this, right? This these shastras, these texts were written thousands of years ago, and the career paths, right, 1000 BC wasn't really all that plentiful, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't have firemen, right? You didn't have computer techs, right?
You a farmer
You
or
didn't.
not? You a merchant? You're not.
You had a pretty,
Mason,
you knew where you were
woodworker.
going. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. It wasn't I'm going to stumble up on and figure it out. Right. You kind of had an idea.
Yeah.
And so astrology was designed and created in a time where those career paths or those profession choices were really, for all intents and purposes, already chosen for you many times. Right. A lot of times, you would pick up the profession of your father or your forefathers, right? Or, if your village had something that they specialized in, you would contribute to, the well being of the village by, facilitating whatever, role or occupation you were chose for.
Yeah.
Well, this is not those times, obviously. We have what we think we have, right? Free will.
Hmm.
And so we can choose our path. Well, that's not necessarily true. And so your path usually chooses you, right? You meet people along the way that open the doors, that give you ideas, that plant seeds, and you germinate those seeds into, a path that you feel or intuit is the best for you. And so there's just so many opportunities to do something in this world. I mean, think about it from the standpoint of even just profession. I mean, from sports, right? Sports, you have how many different sports? Tennis, basketball, football, baseball, whatever it is, they're all sports. So they're all governed by the planet Mars. But then how do you differentiate Mars as in tennis, Mars is in basketball, Mars is in football, Mars is in, what I mean? These things have these subtle nuances, even though they're all governed by Mars,
Yeah.
right? So that's where an expert astrologer can come in and fine tune. Okay, well, I see the legs, right? The 11th house is strong, right? But I see Mars is also prominent in the 10th or first house. So that means you probably are going to be a runner, right? Or use the legs in your sport activity. And the person will be like, yeah, I run triathlons, right? Or yes, right? I'm a long distance runner. Or yes, I'm a running back, right? Whatever the case is, right? A lot of times we have to fine tune, right, what that is, what
Yeah.
that particular avenue of that sport will lead to. So this is why I'm showing. The reason why I'm saying this is because this is just so many nuances and so many potential possibilities, right? But one thing that people make the mistake of is looking as if the 10th house is the only house that can portend career.
Hmm.
All houses can portend career. Every house.
Yeah.
The 10th house and what it does, and people want to know, let's answer the question what the 10th house does. The 10th house gives you notoriety, right? It gives you the ability to be prominent. it literally allows whatever that planet is to place you into a position of being recognized for that thing.
Yeah.
Right? That's what the 10th house does. Right? It calls attention. It makes people aware of you. Right? It puts you into positions of power and authority. Whatever planet is there will do that. Right?
Yeah.
But many times people don't have a planet there. Then what?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, then we begin to look for patterns, right, in the chart. We begin to look for things that continuously repeat to try to kind of garner what this person's tendencies are, right? And so many times you'll find, for example, Serena Williams, right, does not
Mm-hmm.
have a prominent or powerful planet in the 10th. She has a powerful planet in the 4th house, which aspects the 10th, but it's her ascendant lord. She's Aries ascendant, and
Mm-hmm.
Aries goes into Cancer, right? Mars, and it's debilitated, right? But Mars, right, being the planet of what? Sports,
Words.
action, right? All those things. Where does Mars reside? In her what? In her
Our
heart,
heart. Yeah.
right? What she feels that she's good at, what brings her satiation, what makes her content, what calms her down. In fact, she's probably more calm on the field than any place, or on the court, tennis court, than she is any place else. She's probably more awkward in other scenarios versus when she's on the court. That's her natural habitat.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so, right, career is not always just something that you go in and you say, you know what, yep, here's the 10th house, here's moon in the 10th, you're going to deal in milk, right? Then you'll see some of these things, right, in some of the texts. You'll deal in liquids, you'll deal in milk, right?
Yeah.
You know, or you deal with women, right? Some of those things as far as the women piece is concerned, but not very many people deal in liquids, right? Not very many people deal in milk. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's very many milkmen left or people that sell milk, right?
Nah.
But liquor, right, could be one. A bartender, right, could be
Yeah.
one, right? Because literally you're dealing in liquor or liquids, but we have to qualify that by other things that would denote liquor, like Rahu, like
Yeah.
Saturn, right? So again, right, the 10th house is not a free for all. I many times have seen people with planets in the 10th house and they're not prominent in their careers, but they have a profession. But they're good at something else, and that something else is usually where they shine. You know, some people have it to where they have their job slash career, and then they have their real career, right? Of their hobby that you're trying to turn into a career. You'll see this many times, right?